I had left my phone on the dining table while I went to the kitchen to get water. 3 minutes, and my entire secret life was now sitting in my father's hands. He turned the phone slightly so the screen faced me. A message glowed in bright white letters. I miss your body. I wish you were here tonight. My lungs refused to breathe. My father's eyes slowly lifted to mine. Who is Daniel? My throat went dry. Because Daniel wasn't just a name. Daniel was the person who had changed everything in my life. The sound of thunder shook the windows. Rain slammed hard against the roof like thousands of small stones being thrown from the sky. The lights flickered once, then steadied. Inside the living room, the air felt heavy. Larry. My father's voice cut through the house like a blade. Not loud. Not angry. But cold. The kind of voice that makes your stomach drop before you even know why. I slowly stepped out of my room. The hallway light cast a long shadow behind me as I walked toward the living room. And then I saw it. My phone. In my father's hand. The screen was still glowing. My heart stopped. He lifted his eyes slowly and looked at me. Sit down. My legs suddenly felt weak as I sat across from him on the wooden chair. The rain outside grew louder. The silence between us felt even louder. 3 minutes earlier. That was all it took. 3 minutes. I had left my phone on the dining table while I went to the kitchen to get water. 3 minutes, and my entire secret life was now sitting in my father's hands. He turned the phone slightly so the screen faced me. A message glowed in bright white letters. I miss your body. I wish you were here tonight. My lungs refused to breathe. My father's eyes slowly lifted to mine. Who is Daniel? My throat went dry. Because Daniel wasn't just a name. Daniel was the person who had changed everything in my life. 3 months earlier. The university library smelled of old books and quiet concentration. Rows of students sat with their heads buried in textbooks. The soft tapping of keyboards filled the air. I was deep in my notes when a shadow fell across my table. Is this seat taken? I looked up. That was the first time I saw Daniel. Tall. Broad shoulders. A calm confidence that made him look like he belonged everywhere he stood. His smile was relaxed, almost playful. No, I said quietly. You can sit. He pulled out the chair and sat down across from me. For a while he focused on his laptop. But every few minutes, I noticed something strange. He kept looking at me. Not obvious. Just quick glances. Like he was studying something interesting. Finally he closed his laptop slightly and said, You look like someone who carries too many thoughts. I blinked in surprise. You just met me. He smiled slowly. And I'm rarely wrong. That was how everything started. Romantic Scene 1. A week later, the campus street was almost empty. Night had wrapped the university in cool darkness. Streetlights glowed above us as Daniel and I walked back from a late lecture. Students passed occasionally, laughing and chatting in small groups. But Daniel suddenly stopped walking. You're hiding something, he said quietly. I froze. What do you mean? He stepped closer under the yellow glow of the streetlight. Your eyes change when certain guys walk past. My heart skipped violently. I looked away. Daniel's voice softened. Relax, he said gently. I'm not judging you. He leaned closer and whispered. I notice, because I'm the same. For the first time in my life, someone had said those words to me. The world felt silent. Then he reached out slowly and took my hand. Warm fingers wrapping around mine. My pulse raced. I like you, he said. I've liked you since the library. Before my mind could even process the moment, he leaned forward. His lips touched mine. Soft. Careful. Almost shy. But electric. The kiss was brief, but it felt like time had stopped completely. When we pulled apart, Daniel smiled. See, he whispered. You're not broken. Romantic scene 2. Daniel's apartment became our escape from the world. A small one-bedroom space near campus. Simple. Quiet. Safe. One evening rain poured heavily outside. Thunder rolled through the sky as we sat close together on his couch. The lights were dim. The room glowed softly from a small lamp beside the sofa. Daniel leaned back and rested his head on my shoulder. You know something, he said. What? You smile differently when you're here. I laughed softly. That's because I don't have to pretend. Daniel lifted his head and studied my face carefully. I wish the world could see the real you. His fingers brushed across my arm slowly. A small shiver ran through my body. Then he pulled me closer. Our bodies pressed together. You're beautiful, he whispered. No one had ever said those words to me before. He lifted my chin gently. Then they were blind. Our lips met again. This time deeper. Longer. Outside the rain poured endlessly, but inside the room everything felt warm. Safe. Like the world outside didn't exist. Romantic scene 3. The night everything went wrong began perfectly. Daniel and I had just finished watching a movie at the campus theater. The night air was cool. The campus was quiet. We walked slowly across the empty sports field, laughing about scenes from the movie. Suddenly Daniel grabbed my wrist and pulled me into the shadows near the bleachers. What are you doing? I laughed. Instead of answering, he wrapped his arms around me. Tightly. I wish I could introduce you to my family, he said softly. Properly. His words caught me off guard. That would never happen in my house, I replied. Why? My father, I said quietly. He would never accept this. Daniel studied my face carefully. Then he held me closer. Well, I accept you. And he kissed me again. Slow. Warm. Full of quiet affection. For that moment, the world felt perfect. I had no idea that kiss would soon become the reason my life exploded. Back to the present. The rain outside roared against the house. My father still held my phone in his hand. Waiting. Watching. Who is Daniel? He asked again. My heart pounded against my chest. Finally. I spoke. He's my boyfriend. The silence that followed was terrifying. My father stared at me like he didn't recognize the person standing in front of him. Then something unexpected happened. He sat down slowly, rubbed his face, and said quietly, "So, my son is gay." I nodded. My hands were shaking. I was ready for shouting. Insults. Maybe even being thrown out of the house. Instead, my father asked a question that shocked me. Does he treat you well? I looked up in confusion. What? The boy, he said calmly. Does he treat you well? My voice came out almost like a whisper. Yes. He does. My father leaned back in his chair. His face looked tired. Older than I had ever seen him. Then he said something that made my mind go blank. You think I didn't know already? My eyes widened. What? He sighed slowly. You've been my son your whole life. Then he looked straight at me. You think a father cannot see who his child really is? The rain outside softened. The tension in the room shifted. And then my father stood up, looked directly into my eyes, and said something that completely shocked me. Bring Daniel home tomorrow. I want to meet the man who makes my son smile.